Hello everyone, DECENDENTX here, bringing you another awesome gameplay, going 46-0 on Raid. I'm going to be giving you a little video, but this one's going to go at a much different pace. It's going to be a little bit sadder, but I do believe it's something that I want to talk about. The first thing actually I wanted to talk about was Mikish, one of my buddies that Mikish Badger on PSN. He has been one of my greatest friends that has been helping me out through all this. He's been in a lot of different gameplays with me, and I just want to say thank you, buddy. But the main reason that I'm making this video is to talk about my father, who has passed away back in right before 4th of July last year, and it's a pretty rough subject. But I want to talk about some of the things that he's contributed to me, and back where gaming was still run by Mario. Back in '88, he got me one of my first Nintendos. I got from my brother, actually, I should say. And he would play with me, and it was pretty cool because, I don't know, just getting to spend that time with your parents playing something and getting hooked on video games after that point in time. It was a pretty big event in my life. Went through quite a few Nintendo games. One of them that I can remember playing a lot with him was just NES Golf. And it's funny because it has Mario on the cover. But, I mean, it's, it has nothing to do with Mario related. It's just an over-the-top video game. It's pretty fun. You should check it out. It's NES Golf. And we used to say, Super Stroke, whenever you'd hit these perfect shots. I don't know. The game was pretty cheesy. And then we also had this other one called Howl's Hole-in-One. And we used to play that one a lot. It was a really awesome Nintendo game. Much better graphics. Everything was, I don't know, it seemed like it actually had a little bit of physics to it. A lot more wind factors. And during this time also, my mom, who's still alive, she's still doing great. She lives out in Hydesville. And she used to play Dr. Mario. That was her thing. Dr. Mario and Tetris. And still to this day, she still talks about how much she loved Atari and a game called River Raid and Pitfall, which, I mean, I remember playing some Atari games, but I remember more after, much farther after when it came out. So it wasn't the first thing that I got into. Nintendo was definitely the very first thing I got into. As time went on, I got into more mature games, it seemed like. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but Final Fantasy 1, the very first Final Fantasy game that came out, was the very first RPG game that I got really hooked into. And when I was playing it a lot and still going to school, my dad would play it, and he got hooked on it, and he doesn't get hooked on video games too well. He just didn't like video games so much, and it probably one of the reasons his hands are so freaking huge from logging over the years and working on cars. So having those little NES controllers doesn't help for the fact to play Nintendo. But he really liked Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy he actually beat before me, which is quite surprising because I was really into the RPG once I started playing that. And he beat it before me, and I don't know, it was pretty cool. He was kind of rubbing in my face. Yeah, remember that game, son? I beat before you, and I was like, yeah, Dad, I know. Well, I had to go to school, and you got to use the NES whenever you wanted to. I don't really have a choice over that. The other really cool game that we got into was Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and I don't know, that's an RTS game, and it's quite difficult. You have to manage quite a bit of resources and your soldiers, and just like playing the game of Risk, you have to know when to divide and conquer. And it takes a really, really long time. In fact, I think my dad, playing from beginning to the end of whenever he was playing the game, it almost took him the whole year because he doesn't really play the game all that much. But when he played it, he'd play for a long stretch of time, and it still took him about a year to get through the whole thing. And, I don't know, I give him props for that, because that game is extremely long. The other things that he got into was the little slot machines, little handheld, the ones where you can play poker on and stuff like that, and also those little fishing games and stuff. I don't know, I thought they were quite interesting. They were pretty entertaining, and they were all part of my growing up and playing games. I mean, the more things you got used to doing, the better you got in the overall experience of games. Playing sports games, you get better at playing sports games. So, and same with golf. I mean, we played a lot of golf games. So when Tiger Woods 95 rolled around for the PlayStation, my dad was like, oh, I'll play that with you, son, because he didn't really play too much of the Super Nintendo or the N64. And when I got the PlayStation, which I actually wanted an N64 when it came out, so I was actually a little mad when I got the PlayStation 1. I was like, no, I wanted the N64, Dad. So what the fuck, man? You know, but I ended up liking the PlayStation 1 a lot more than the N64. And so we got Tiger Woods 95, and we both got extremely good at that game, and we got real competitive with each other, and we'd always try every day to beat each other's score. It was just freaking awesome. I just remember those great times, man. We'd get holes in ones almost, I don't know, at least one a game. You know, me or him, we bust something out. It was a pretty easy game, I think. The physics were still new to the game, so once you got it down pretty darn well. And then, towards the end, more towards now, in 2013, well, 2012, he was still alive. I would hook up the computer, and I got him one of those, like those controllers you could plug into your USB, and it looks like a PlayStation controller, and you could use it to play games, which is pretty sweet. And I got him an NES emulator, so he was able to play all the old Nintendo games and be able to sit there on the computer, and he thought it was the craziest thing in the world. He's like, what in the hell is this? I thought you had to have a Nintendo and a cartridge. I said, no, legally you're not supposed to be able to do this without the game, but we did pretty much and still own a lot of the original NES games, so I don't know, it's not a real big deal. If someone ever, cared about it, I would take them away, it's no big deal. And I do realize that piracy is wrong and should never be done by anybody. And I guess the last thing I really want to talk about is, I don't know, I want to hear more from you guys. I want to see more comments. I want to see more likes. Favorite these videos, man. Just let me know you love me. Alright, guys. Well, this is coming to the end. Thanks, and have a great day. On the left-hand side, you'll find a previous video that I made. And on the right-hand side is the mystery video. Not sure what they're going to be, but you're just going to have to check them out. Thanks, guys. Love you all, and peace out.